Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss about a Tableau and SQL interview questions of KPMG. But before we do that, let us thank our subscriber who has shared us his experience and his interview questions so that it can be of help to other subscribers who are watching this video and who are actively looking for opportunities in Tableau. Thank you, dear subscriber. I encourage everyone who is attending interviews to please share your experience or your interview questions to us so that it can be of some help to the other guys who are taking interviews actively. Okay, so thank you once again and let us get started. So it all started with again, profile being shortlisted quickly because the candidate was readily available and he was actively looking for opportunities. So he got a call from the recruiter and the interview was scheduled immediately, like in a day. So after shortlisting profile. Now the first question that was asked was, so like here, the interviewer didn't want an elaborate answer. So when he was asking question, he kept it very short. Okay, like short, brief about yourself, and he wants us to answer this question based on below important points he told, like limit yourself, like to the skill set, your roles and your work, and keep it short. That's what he said it in a sentence. Okay, so in this kind of situation, what we need to do is we don't need to give an elaborate answer. We need to focus on what are the different tools we have worked on. Okay, and what were our roles, like in a day-to-day life as a Tableau developer, what you used to do, like you used to get requirements from the client. Okay, you used to develop reports, test them, prepare documentation, move it to different environments, like this is called as migration. So this kind of points. So while doing so, what were the different tools you have used? So you can also include that. So like what are the different backend tools, like that. So you can keep it very crisp when he is really asking you to put it in this way. Otherwise, we can go with our standard answer of describing ourselves, like we have discussed in the previous videos. I'll share that link of how to explain yourself and your project description, so you can follow that in a generic way. But if the client is clearly asking you, like, to keep it simple and short, then just have important points in your description, so that way you can save his time as well. So now the second question was, what is the back end of your Tableau? So now again, if you see last to four to five videos of our interview discussion, you will find this question pretty common. I mean, it is coming in every interview, like what is the back end now, because many of the interviewers or the panel want to know what is the database that you have used in your reporting purpose. So you can mention any one or two types of data sources, like it can be, you can tell that I have used Snowflake as my data source, or you can tell them that you have used Teradata as your data source, or you can tell them you have used Redshift or SQL Server, anything, like whatever the platform that you feel comfortable, you can answer that. Okay, so again, this is very important because he will know what database you have used, and based on that he will feel like, okay, no, it might be good fit or not, something like that. Suppose if they are using Snowflake in their current environment now, and you have also used Snowflake, so that will give you like one extra point because you have already worked on one similar database, so end to end how to run the query and all. So that's why it makes the job of both easy. So that's why have at least 2 to 3 data sources ready whenever you get this kind of questions. And probably you can add them in your resume as well. Like in one project you can tell you have used SQL server, and in another project you can tell you have used Teradata. Like that you can segregate your project, that way giving you an opportunity that you have worked on different data sources. Okay, so now next is, do you have experience in writing SQL queries? Again, this question was basically to judge how are you using SQL, or are you writing SQL, or do you get SQL from your DB team, like that. So you can, instead of telling that I have not written any SQL queries or I don't have any exposure, you can simply tell that to test my data I have used SQLs to validate, or something like that you can answer. Okay, or you can tell that you get initial queries from your DBA team, after which you will convert it or update it according to your data, if at all you are getting any data issues. Okay, so you can answer this way also, this question. So this is basic. And then after this he asked like, how will you rate yourself in SQL? Because maybe he'll ask us the SQL questions based on how much we are rating, like out of 5 how much you want to rate. So generally I have seen that many of them answer between 2 to 4. Majority is the average answer is something between this for 5. So some say 2, 3 and 4. These are like very common answers. So you can keep it 3 if at all you want to be safe, 3 out of 5. Okay, if not, you are very good in SQL, then you can write 4. And if you are very 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 expert in SQL, then you can rate yourself as 5 out of 5. So tell me how good you are in our comment section, and see, let us see what is the common answer that we get. Okay, so if you are an expert, you can write 5. If you are an average, above average, you can write 4. But if you are somewhere average, then you can write it 3 or 3.5. So comment down and let us see what is the, SQL set, the SQL skill set that is there currently for our subscribers. Okay, next he started with the SQL questions, because if you see the above questions, he was just trying to judge us with the SQL knowledge by that generic question. Now a first question was, in what scenarios do we use having? Okay, one important and very important question here. So having is always used in combination with the group by. Okay, so which means basically we are filtering for a group by field. Okay, so now before we do that, what we can do is so you can try to write one SQL using where, group by and having. One very 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 important question here, this one. Okay, so the one who is able to write this, he will know when to use where, when to use group by, and when to use having. Okay, so this is something very important. Next question was, what is left to join? Like one very basic question on join. So you can always expect at least 1 to 2 questions on joins. Okay, so very very high probability here. So you can, maybe if at all you are new to SQL, then until joins you need to be very very good at that, or you need to know all the concepts till join at least. Okay, so now get to the first day of the transaction of a SQL. Okay, so he wanted to have the minimum transaction date of the SQL, or the customer he wants. So like uh, how we use LOD function to get the minimum of first order. Like I'll write fixed of customer name, and I'm writing min of order date. Close it. So what will happen with this? So for each customer, I'm trying to get the first order that he has placed. Okay, so similarly, this is with respect to our Tableau Okay, and he want to have a similar thing in SQL. Okay, so next is one important question again, partition by clause in SQL. Very important question, like very little, little, what do you call, advanced SQL this is, but yet it is important. So it aggregates your data. I mean, it partitions your data and aggregates at the level that you are specifying. So to make it clear to you, I have written a simple query here. So it's like select customer city, customer name, and order amount. So I'm taking three fields here: city, name, and amount. Now, if you see average, I'm trying to find out, and I'm specifying my partition by clause. So over is the function that we have to use, and specify what is the partition, like how you are doing that partition. So like for each city, find out the average of my amount. Similarly, minimum of my order amount, partition by customer city. So that is the definition of partition by clause in SQL. So if you have used partition by SQL in a project environment, do comment in the comment section and let us see how many of you have used this in your SQL queries. Okay. So next, again, it started with the Tableau. Okay. So Tableau, I think this guy remembered only few questions here, so he could not send me all of the questions. But the some are from the other profile, like the other subscriber who I shared a few of the questions when he was attending for data analyst role. So I've just included them also in this. So what is LOD? Again, if you observe our last 2 to 3 interview sessions, LOD was one common question that was being asked. So you can take this one question as a standard question in any interview that you might get. Okay, so have an answer ready here. So what you need to explain, what is LOD, like level of detail or level of aggregation, and how many. So first is like what is definition. You can write how many types of LODs are there that you can include, and what is the syntax of that. So when you're explaining syntax, you can tell that anything that is included in the flower braces, Tableau will consider that as an LOD expression that you want to tell. And after that, first comes your scoping word like fixed, comma, include, and exclude. These are the three scoping words of LOD expression. Then followed by this colon, and then an aggregated field. It can be sum of sales, average of sales, whatever, and then close the syntax. So these are the points that you need to cover when someone is asking you about LOD expressions. Okay, so you can tell what each LOD type does here, like when can we use fixed, include, and exclude. Okay, so next is group and sets. Again, I think we have discussed this a number of times in our previous video also, groups and sets. So next is parameter and filters. Again, one important question, and again we have discussed this many times. uh, when can we use parameter and when can we use filter? Okay, so if you know the answer, you can write it in a comment section. Let us see how many of you get this right. Okay, very important question here. Okay, next is connection in Tableau, which is better and between them. So how many types of connections do we have? We have two types of connections, live and extract. Okay, so like this is very debatable, like which is better, live and extract. Like most of them tell live, and some tell extract. Okay, so extract is always better than live connection, but in terms of what we need to use in real time, so the best answer that we can do is it depends on how the client wants the data. So you can keep your answer directly to this. You can tell based on client's expectation, based on client's needs, we can decide whether we can go for live or extract. Okay, so that is something. And if a client is expecting near real-time data and he wants that to be updated every when the new data is coming, then we need to go for live. But if he's okay with a little lag in the dashboard than the database, then we can go for the extract. Okay, so coming down, what you have used in your project. So I have used, like, maybe 2 to 3 times I've used extracts, very big huge extracts I had, and we used to schedule that in our real time, and they used to get updated. So the size of my extract was close to 700 MB that I had. Okay, one file. So coming down your, the extract size, let us see, what is the size of extracts that we have in other projects that we are using. Now, next important questions: joins, relationship, and data blending. One important concept in Tableau. Okay, so you can expect at least 2 to 3 questions on this, definitely. So when I talk about the joins, we get how many types of joins are there, like left, right, inner, outer, cross, like that, and self join. These are the different types of joins we have. And then we have data blending. Whenever we are using different data sources, we get data blending as an option. Okay, next, again, I think we have similar question here. Let us remove this. Types of, again, like we have discussed this in previous order, types of filter according to their order. So order of execution of filter is very important for us to remember. Maybe you can write it down somewhere, or have a notes prepared whenever you are attending interviews, so that it can help you whenever you are attending interviews. Okay, so here this is a very generic question, and it has a very big answer. Like, assume it is a 12 marks question. Okay, so which means you have to answer this question in a very detailed manner. Okay, 12 marks, 12 minutes, assume that. Okay, so you need to answer that, take the entire time. So this is like very easy question, so you should not miss. That is what I expect from all of my subscribers. Okay, make sure you have prepared fully on this, because definitely you are going to get at least 1 or 2 questions on this, so you cannot afford to miss this question. Okay, so next is incremental refresh versus full refresh. Okay, one important type of, refresh when we are going for extract. Okay, so full refresh means it will create new extract every time refresh is run. Incremental means just an add-on, whatever the new records are there, it will get new records. Like, suppose, so when you are first time create an extract, you have 10 records, so that 10 will be copied to your extract. Now again tomorrow you will get one new record, so which will make 10 plus 1, 11, 11 records. But because you have scheduled it as uh, a full refresh, what Tableau does is it will create a new extract by deleting whatever the existing that we have, and 11 records will be copied to your new extract. Okay, so this is your full refresh, whereas incremental refresh means only those, that one record that is being added, that will be added to your extract. Now if I go to our Tableau, okay, and if I change my connection here to extract, and if I go to sheet, it is asking us to save. Okay, so we have saved that, fine. If I click on this and extract and properties, okay, not here, maybe here, we go to data, refresh, edit. Yeah, so if you see here, number of rows, all rows, which means all rows will be copied. But when I am selecting incremental refresh, Tableau is asking me to identify what is the column that you want. So basically in this kind of cases, we either go with the primary key column, or a column that has date type field. You see, that's why it will show. So first, a table to refresh. What is a table? So I'm selecting orders, and in that, these are the 4 possible columns that the Tableau is expecting. So I'm selecting order date. So now based on this order date, Tableau will try to see if there are any new records, and it will copy only those. Like, it will work as a minus b. Okay, so next is either we can get top rows, like top 10 rows you can get, or you can also get it by percentage here. So this one, sample. Okay, rows or percentage. like only 10% of data you want to use. So maybe you can select here and you can select 10, only 10% of your data will be, you will be getting. So that way you can answer this question here. Okay. Next, again, very basic question, discrete versus continuous. I think that everyone should know. Next is row level security. I think we have discussed this in our previous question. Okay. So custom charts, like again, I always encourage everyone to have, list of at least few charts that are not available in our show me. So apart from this charts, what are the new charts that you have created, that is what interviewer wants to know, which means how you have explored Tableau. Okay, so comment me how many charts are there in show me. Do you know the answer? If you know, comment down and let us see how many of you can answer this question. And here are some of the custom charts that we can create: donut, Pareto, waterfall, or cloud chart. So when an interviewer is asking, you can tell them that, okay, I've created this chart as a custom chart and I've used for so and so purpose. Okay. Next important question, action filter. Okay. So in dashboard, we have 4 to 5 types of filters. That is what matters. Click on this and add action, filter, highlight, URL, go to sheet, change parameter, and change set values. So these are the 6 types of actions that we have in dashboard, and these are very important. So we can expect at least 1 to 2 questions on actions. So that is what the interviewer is asking here, but he is specifically asking filter action, which means based on click, data will get filtered here. So filter means filter action. So how to add all in parameter list? Okay, one very important and very important option here, the important scenario, I would say. Okay, so how do we do that? So basically we need to write a calculation here. So like it's like when all. So in list, suppose you have furniture, uh, office supplies, and what is the other one that we have, like suppose home. Okay, so there are 3 in our category, but I want to have an all option above this. So when it selects that, I want to show all. So what I will do is, in the list I will add all as a custom option. Now when you are writing a calculation, you have to clearly specify when all, like I'll say, right, case of parameter name. Okay, when all, when all, then category, when furniture, then something like that. Okay, you have to specify and write a calculation for all, then only this will work, otherwise it will not. So that kind of thing you have to do it when you want to show all option in parameter list. Okay, so I think that's it from my side in this video. I hope you find my video useful. If you like it, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.